Frost has come around to not liking Ethiopians. White has entered the lobby now. Looks like for Spain we will see Cambridge, More and Tatoh. Nice Elo Vinch, have you been teaming with doubt? Played ranked only when we were losing, says Vinchester. Well, that's on you. Team positions is off on the game 1 lobby as well. Let me tell him in Tatoh's chat. You never join a stream without you talking about me? I wasn't talking about you, Zhao. I guess it's Keller that was talking about you. Who even mentioned Zhao? I think Zhao is just imagining catching strays. No, actually somebody said Zhao. Shower hearing skirmisher, okay. Well, they're starting, but without team positions. I can see that on Tatoh's POV. I will load in. Maybe they happen to be right by accident, right? I can set the scoreboard at least. Spain, Russia. Won't keep the flag if they rehost though. Welcome to Deathmatch Nations Cup. Let's check if the teams happen to be in the right positions. Okay, it worked out. They seem to luck out every time. I don't know. Tatoh was in the lobby and didn't show. But it's working. So we are in the series. Welcome. Welcome to the round of 16 between Spain and Russia for entrance into the quarterfinals of the main event of Deathmatch Nations Cup, even though they're calling it World Cup. We've got AntagonisT as a flank for the Russians with the Britons. He will be playing against the one and only Tatoh as the Magyar aggressive flank there. On the top side, Vinchester with the Teutons will go head to head with More, who's playing as the Dravidians. That's some very slow sieves for Canyon Lake. White is providing potential flaming camels against the Dravidian elephant archers from the pocket. And on the other side, we've got Cambridge with the Malians. Britons counter Magyars? They don't really, right? The Magyar CA wins. Somehow. If I remember correctly. Great matchups for Russia, says Keller. So Teutons Dravidians is amazing. That is true. And Britons should still win resource-wise against the Magyar CA. Cambridge going a lot to the south. Camel pockets for both sides. Lots of emphasis on the water for Spain. Quadruple, quintuple docks even on the middle. Russia is ignoring that. It's a country with a landmass after all. Camels all positioning on the south side, which is leaving the north to be a 1v1. Camels can't do much there. From that perspective, it does make sense. That is also great news for Russia, though, as Teutons should have a good time playing against Dravidians. Relatively safe corner gen, so no early corner fights. I don't think... I mentioned flaming camels for the Tatars, but I would be very surprised if white, of all people, would actually be making them. Cavachas for Tito, positioning on the hill here. Help and Camel Mass is coming together a bit slow on the longbow maybe, but we do have triple castles, so the longbow mass should start forming for AntagonisT. Villager kills, not too much happened. 4 losses for the Russians all over the board, but all the flank civs are slow ones here. Besides the Magyars, I guess Tatoh didn't rush that much, and the camel support of the Tatar was helping out as well. Tatars would be playing a full camel game here, obviously with the Britons. Don't really need cavalry archers to accompany there. We've got a big fight. That's a lot of army for white, especially. Chambra playing more on the top side now. Therefore, good fight for white in the south. So good that the Spanish need a pause. No, actually, Vinchester had a drop, so that wasn't the Spanish. But we continue. First movement is backwards for white. Do we have the siege to push this for AntagonisT? No, he's full longbow production. Forgot the trebuchets a little bit. Fight maybe went better than expected, so Russia not ready to profit from this first good engagement. Russia at the top, pushing with the siege onagers, elephant archers forced back. Dravidians can be great if the opposing side doesn't have siege onager, but here it's happened to be quite lucky, right? The matchups would be the other way around. Dravidians against Britons and Magyars versus Teutons. That sounds so much better for Spain than the way it generated. Therefore, Russia in a good position to take the first one. Like Spain a bit faster on the trade, even fishing ships on Canyon Lake. Alright, not the map we see fishing ships the most on this map. Maps where you see the most fishing ships actually kind of close to mountain. Golden Lakes people are like undermaking them, and close to mountain we see a lot. The way wasn't picked. The way should not be picked. It's not the way. Are the fishing ships more efficient than villagers? Probably not, but you... I don't know. You just have water, so you make some. Why not? Big battle here with the CA, with the longbows behind. Siege onagers in the mix for Trembridge, playing siege onager support on the side. That can swing big time if they can good shots. Good fight for Tatoh, now jumping onto the trebuchets as well. And the CMRs behind is really nice, melting everything. Now nothing protecting the siege and the longbows anymore. So Tatoh and Chambra taking good fights here, pushing back in the north. Actually, even game, that's good for More. As long as he can hold the top and the trade versus Vinchester's Teutons. Longbow Mars is still alive. Obviously will be lots of resources still in the bank for AntagonisT. Can keep this up quite a while, but good pushback by the Spanish. Tatoh also with some trade rates. White now going to fix those. I'm not sure if they are either. Like the fish is not... If the fish is close, they are more efficient. If the fish is like on the other side of the lake, like how they're traveling right now, then it's less efficient. So I guess it depends on what phase of the fishing ship you're looking at. What is efficient though is the push for Tatoh here, showing why he is a top 6 DMer. Usually reaching like top 6, top 4 in many of the 1v1 tournaments that he played. So certainly a force to be reckoned with. There were some skirm heavy, not so impressive games from Spain in the group stage, but Tatoh didn't play as much in the group stage. I think he only played like between 2 and 4 games. for the team. And yeah, with Tatoh, Spain a lot stronger. As it's showing here in game 1 with not the easiest matchups. Good mass up for Camels now for Cambridge. White maybe also not providing as much support as needed. And at the top, even the Dravidians are pushing for more. Do we not have enough siege workshops maybe? Only 4 siege workshops? No, well, there's a 5th one. But a bit out of position. So the SO mass not really there. Bombard cannon mass also with 2k6. Mike More reached 2k6. Oh, wow. 2k6 micro behind them. A lot more scary, even though if they don't have siege engineers, so theoretically better ones for the Teutons. Maybe the Teuton made too many bombard cannons though. You really do need the siege onagers against the elephants. I could see that being a trap that Vinchester or like generally high elo armors would fall for. Maybe that's the reason More is pushing. Tatoh is pushing in the south as well. Now a little bit more wide support here. How are we looking on the population front? Really nicely looking for Spain. Cambridge getting 2 raid now. Obviously also very experienced DMer in Cambridge was close to reaching Division 1 in TDM. No flaming camels, no party. Well, more of a Spanish party than a French national dish in the tartare. Vinchester calls it 1-0 for Spain. Strong performance by Tatoh and really impressive push by the Dravidians of More. Keller for about 4 weeks was saying Spain is like the weakest group winning team. Spain is so bad. If Germany B gets Spain in the quarterfinals, they can make... If Germany C gets Spain in the quarterfinals, they can make it to semifinals. Then Keller sees one game where Tatoh actually plays and tryhards for Spain in the knockout stages. I would change to Spain 4-0! GG though, that looked indeed very, very nice by Team Spain, and Russia will have to sharpen their swords a bit for game 2. Tatoh is really hard to deal with. Yeah, we played a practice set against him as well before the tournament. Tatoh is... I'm not sure... It felt hard on the flank. I'm not sure if it felt as hard as Daywalker, but close. More even got the... I don't know. Good carries for Tatoh, especially here. And economy. Cambridge also with a nice pocket eco there. Spain the only one starting trade. Still a little bit late perhaps for the game time. White with the most villagers. But you can also have too many of them. Well, let's see what's gonna happen on the other maps. There's a lot of speculations and analysis of group stage performances float around the chat. Unfortunately, I think the attempt for Mexico B to play this morning failed, so not sure we are going to see them in the rest of the tournament. But we got a win for Tatoh in the red on game 1. Civilizations used, Magyars already used there. Malians a bit lower down, Dravidians as well, even though Dravidians are stronger than the position implies here, I would say. And on the other side, we had the Tatar pocket, chance of flaming camels, unfortunately gone for the rest of the series, even though they could have been used here. And then the Britons were used, and up top, the Teutons. They are OP on Coastal Mountain. Who are they? But the player playing them was not. Are you talking about Dravidians? Or how about Muisca? Keller just refusing to only sling the Persians. 2P or not 2P? Probably not 2P. A, Team Canada is not playing, and B, the Civ will not be used. Admiral Drow just looking for excuses to make his toilet jokes. And lose all my viewers. That is not appreciated. We are going to Canyon Lake again, apparently. I think he's throwing it on himself. Or maybe he would even use another word than throw. We still need to ban Keller, by the way, guys. Huggy, can you ban Keller, please? Poll decided. Oh my god. Collective intelligence level of chat has reached below 0 again. Oi, oi, oi. Can ban a mod, I will just ban Joe instead. Works for me. Team Islands is game number 2. Russia says we played enough of standard land play. Let's have some water in our lives. Even though the Spanish were the only ones interested in the lake last game. What civs? What are we gonna see here for islands? I can talk about everything now. We're out, right? Ha. Well, the Spanish isn't as good in my opinion, so I think Chinese, Italians, and Malay is kind of unbeatable. Maybe with Koreans. Spain do have Koreans, so I doubt they invest here though. It's Russia's home map, right? Do you really want to play the Koreans? I have a feeling that Team Spain believes in Portuguese. They would be wrong, but I think they will believe. So this will be Portuguese Vikings and Portuguese Vikings, and they won't use Koreans. Portuguese Vikings. Way? Not sure they will try to go Lutrons though. Goths, it's also a bit of a secret that they have good water. Portuguese Vikings, Turks, right? Turks is there, or Berbers. They would also be high invest, but I think you could use Turks. Portuguese Vikings, Turks is my guess for Spain. And on the other side, where I already said, Italians, Malay, and China. Armenians have no shipwright, no dry dock. We tried them, but without treadmill and shipwright, I think they are still too slow. Portuguese are good though. Okay, Huggy, can you ban yourself? They now have shipwright equivalent. No, not really. It's not really a shipwright equivalent. It's like a little bit of help. What do they get now? They train 33% faster. While shipwright is 50%. So it's still not as fast as shipwright would make them. And yeah, their ships are cheaper on gold, but they do cost the full wood price. And ships tend to cost more wood than gold, at least most of the ones that you want to make. So it's also cost-wise still a bit less effective than shipwright. And another problem, they have caravels. So you kind of want to make them, and then turns out you actually didn't. Berbers always a great choice. Berbers is always a great choice. Faster ships is really nice. But do you really want to use them here, right? Such a good pocket civilizations with cheap camels and camel archers, making team unique units cheaper. Probably don't want to use them on water. Why would you take Goths on water? Schütze on land, nearly full tech tree water. Yeah, Goths are actually a great water civ. And on land, kind of dead in the... well, not in the water, I guess. On land, they don't really have the units after their initial rush, which can be a play, but would need a very strong start player usually to execute it well. And we started. Let's go to Team Islands, guys. Oh, I think the team position struck now. Admins! Welcome to game 2. Positions are wrong, but we can continue if you want. Size for 6. Yes, we play 4. Okay, they are redoing it. What map size do they have? Oh yeah, they have the wrong map size and the wrong positions. It's not like I didn't write that in Tatoh's chat before game 1 already. So we will redo, but we can take a look at the civilizations, right? Should see the same civilizations, no Georgians, so at least we don't have the triple mistake here. Chinese Byzantines invested. Okay, yeah, well, Byzantines is another possibility. Chinese Byzantines Malay, a good lineup for the Russians, I would say. And then it's Koreans! They are playing with Koreans! Oh boy, that's gonna be an interesting one now that Civ Invest is there for both Chinese and Koreans. So it is Koreans, Goths, and Wei. So they will even play Luchuans with the turtle ships. Okay, okay, okay. That can be a great combo as well. Did we delete some things? I guess we deleted some things. Oh, we didn't do much things. Anyways, rehost is probably underway, so let's go there. France DQ'd. They turned out to be Belgium. Insta DQ. Alright, I'll get myself a Martyr or something. Okay, let me check Tatoh stream if they did it correctly now. Team positions is on. They're playing unranked though. I didn't explain it. I also posted in the match chat. Just in case they're wondering how it works. I mean, it's fine to play this one on unranked, but for future reference. Map size will also be something to look at. And we're loading in. Welcome to game number 2. Let me double check the map size. It is 4 players. Let's go. We're on Team Islands. We've got Team Russia. Vinchester is playing in the middle as the Byzantines. Then we have White as the Malay on flank Malay. Okay. And then on the left side, AntagonisT taking the market with the Chinese. Nice play to use Chinese to get the market. They have the extra villagers. On the other side, it is the mighty Koreans for Tatoh. In the middle, not many docks placed for Morris, because Morris is attempting a landing. We do have a barracks. We have a Goth landing plan. Islands meta is being switched here. And on the right side, we've got Chambridge with the way going front dock. I'm not sure they're fast enough for that one. Transport ship is on the aforementioned Civ's name, though. And it is landing some villagers with some halberdiers. Okay, that's a nice touch, so they don't die to the starting hussar. Are the starting hussars still existing for the Russians? They are still existing for the Russians. Even brought temperature scout with here. Russia completely in the dark. No, no, no. Harbor's OP. Malay team bonus. Docks +6 line of sight. Proving to be OP in spotting the landing. Now the helps are to protect the villagers from the hussar peon, as we do have the dragon ships encircling the fleet of Tatoh. That's not the position that dragon boats wanted, the Koreans want to be in. They need a bit of time to build up. Chinese very fast right out the gate. We also have 2 fleets here. Byzantine fires for Vinchester coming to support. Docks intertwining there speaks for poor planning by the Russians though. Some fight against the way who are trying to go Luchuans. The landing is up. The Huskals and the champions are flooding castles in reaction for the Russians. This game is escalating quickly. Should not be attacking a house though. With that Goth rush, that castle not stopped. So Byzantines very helpful here against the Goth landing plans, as well as we can just add cataphracts to eat all the units that will come here. So landing not looking too hot for Tatoh. Turtle ships proving once more how OP they are. Survived that entanglement. Luchuans are now out but don't have a front line, so they really need something in front if they want to fight against the turtle ships. It is one of the better units, or one of the best unit probably. Georgian Luchuans, which are not allowed because they crashed the game. Second best unit would be Chinese Luchuans. They are on the field, but they do need a meat sheet. Fast fires coming from the right side, kind of trying to help versus the turtle ships. Luchuans now with dragon ships in front. That is looking more solid as a fighting line for AntagonisT. The landing is still running amok in the bases. Did you get some eco kills? AntagonisT actually lost 13 villagers, but he has the market with the Chinese, so can probably keep this up a little bit. Quick War will do that more efficiently. You have to help attack the villagers before they can Quick War. Peon's so confident now, huh? Do you remember your start against Daywalker's Goths, Peon? Just Quick War everything? I don't know. Is this already the best islands game? No, Spain versus France. No, France versus Switzerland. Or the landing back and forth there. It's not quite reached yet. But the landing is doing some nice work. Palisade Quick Wards are almost spotted for AntagonisT. Elite Chukunu coming out of there. Where are the cataphracts? Cataphracts are being masked. Water battle very even. No meat sheet anymore for the Luchuans, because I guess due to the landing, AntagonisT burned through his resources. Therefore, More actually getting quite set up on land here. Has added Goth Cav Archers, the famous unit, but it's a good counter to the Cataphract. On the right side though, white is dominating the way. So turns out you should go white than to go straight forward on the way to victory. Oh, we have a pause, so everybody's gonna hear my lighter. I only remember the end of the game. Peon. No way landing did something. Well, what a landing does is to enable the other team to win water, but I don't think it did that. If everybody overreacts, eventually win the water, I guess. But it looks like white is in such a good position that the Malay Navy might be able to do something against the others. Oh, Vinchester was stack patrolling with the cataphracts, which is indeed not allowed, I guess. No defensive ones, at least. More told him, it's the RM rules, so the RMs should know the rules, right? The Luchuans are trying to go back. Tatoh attempting a surround on the Luchuan fleet of AntagonisT. who isn't as busy on land anymore because Vinchester is working on clearing up the landing. And ships in the back are shooting at the Lutrons. Think this might be a clear up for Tatoh. He desperately needs that though, because White's fleet is coming and White's fleet is mopping everything up. We got another landing. Chambra has landed Haeguang Cavalry, or has landed stables in the back of the Russian space. Definitely the wildest. Double landing is okay. It's getting there on Switzerland-France territory here. Landing for More is shut down, but now they will have to deal with an entirely different unit type in the heavy Haeguang of the way. Strongest Haeguang in the game. Don't know why we're not stopping that castle though. Want to protect his own landing villages probably. Mods? I think Zhao really needs a timeout by now. I'm not sure who's that joke is hurting more, Pion or me. It's probably more my brain says. Dragon ships versus the last of the turtle ships, at least at the back, but turtle ships so OP, they will prove victorious even over their best intended counter. In the middle, Tatoh still has galleon fleet now? What? Tatoh, why are you making galleons all of a sudden? I guess he was mixing them with the turtles before, but like just making regular navy, as this feels way too regular for a Korean navy. The landings are more being annoying than killing. I've not really seen a landing kill yet. They more force investment on land than do game ending damage in Deathmatch. Dragon ships and the Malay fleet still getting the dubs on water, but Chambra has made it back, has made his own Wei-Luchuans now on the right side. There is quite some swings. There also is water trade. Trading for both resources for More. There was a dock added that was too far at the front though, so they are taking a path throughout all the fighting area. And White is pushing hard. Russians with more control on the left, losing some control on the right though, losing some docks, and sure you have harbors, but they don't really care. Or the Luchuans don't really care about them. You can just patrol the Luchuans, take out docks and harbors regardless. They're getting some shots in actually. Combined damage of the harbors is 148 though, so not the greatest. Counter landing. Vinchester is now on the island of More. Okay. The game is starting to convince me to be the best Team Islands game. The worst one was clearly our domination against Great Britain. And it's a good thing to have a bad game because you win so quickly. Oh, Vinchester's villagers are not under fire. It's the castle that's being under fire. Villagers box down the house. Can we deny the castle with villagers here for More? Here is your dose of dopamine, guys. The villagers do deny the castle. Helbety is trying to party out of all units. And Vinchester's counter landing is shut down. I still see some teal, some cataphracts running about the base though. Dragon ships versus turtle ships on the left side. An ever continuing struggle. Russia uniting two fleets again. Now no landings on them anymore. And the Luchuans for Chambridge have to retreat and have to do so quickly. Quite some trouble for the Brits here. Did you not see Sweden games yesterday? I did not see Sweden games yesterday. I was playing the grand finals. I would still want to watch the cast. What? Okay, I guess I need to watch it more than I thought. Don't tell me everything yet. Apparently people should go watch that series. Tatoh was a bit of a pushback on the left side here. How are we looking on like trade numbers? Only land trade? Not that high for the Russians. Obviously a bit interrupted by the landings. Lots of water trade for More, who isn't fighting anymore. So the trading player seems to be like a thing in the longer Team Island games. That you have like one player trading and doing the water trade, setting up his docks more for that and less for the fighting, and that player will just sling there, which is the Goss, which does make sense compared to the others. It's still the worst navy, but 3 navies on the field I feel like tend to win out, as Russia is still pushing in the south here. We have another landing attempt for Chambre. These players really like to land. You don't know why Tatoh's making galleons? I don't know either. Against neither Lutrons nor dragon ships, that makes any sense. And you should just be making turtle ships anyways, or turtle ship Hulk. The opponent would play lots of Hulks, but the turtles are fine with his Hulks, so that makes no sense to add galleons in that regard either, right? In the name, team is land? Hmm? Spain mean land? I mean, which country name doesn't mean that though? Ah, Team Island. I am yet deciding if that's worse than Zhao's jokes or not. Yet to decide. Another surround of Tatoh's fleet. Landing kind of dealt with here. Tatoh losing a lot of his all-important galleons that he loves so much. Making more galleon. Cannon galleon also feels very optimistic for Tatoh. It's looking good for Russia, I would say, especially now that Tatoh was pushed back and is somehow dissuaded from making his best ship. Okay, he has 28 more in the queue. Should get some sling for More. Yeah, More is slimming. Vinchester even buying stone for more landing castles. It's Vinchester, but he's still playing Byzantine Fires at least. Has successfully landed the trade though, so now the landings make a little bit more impactful. Resources for Spain not looking all that pretty. Cambridge a bit out of gold. More needs to sling more. They're kind of relying on that. Villagers even fighting that now. How's the wood situation? Still some wood on the map, but less on Spanish Island probably. Well, there's still some here, so guess wood is still fine. Triple castle, no double castle. That's actually a yellow defensive castle on the trade. Trebuchet is out for Tatoh, trying to deal with the landing. He has some turtle ships again, has to fight against 2 navies though. In the south, navies very small for More and for Cambridge, who, yeah, they are fully trusting on the water trade to rake in the benefits. Water trade is not the longest though for More, so kind of trade numbers pretty low for the rest of the Spanish team. Obviously decreasing as well, because there was 2 and now there's still 1 castle in the trade. That did kill 30 economy units, most of those trade cards. Byzantine castles also makes this extra annoying. I think it's even on a hill with where Vinchester placed it. Keller, you're banned. Don't forget that. Proper joke battle? No, we're missing like good entries for a proper joke battle. Man. The man, the myth, the legend joke was really good. after that, we dropped so much in joke level, like, I don't even know. It's hard to see with the naked eye. Somebody's starting a car in front of my window really loud. That has to be loud enough for you guys to hear it. As Tatoh with the OP turtle ship is pushing back on the left side. Russia still going strong on the right. No more landings that are doing much. Just some stables left. So full focus on water. Russia falling behind massively in the military count with the sling of the wood trade, of the water trade. Tatoh now in a position that he can dominate with the Koreans. Received 41k in resources on the Koreans. Spain now playing nicely around their powerhouse civilization and units. They don't understand the galleon, but we do have good amounts of turtle ships out. Cobra car incoming? Yes, it really sounded like a Cobra car, didn't it? Cannon galleon there. Tatoh knew he would eventually win, so he needed those. Lost most of them in the fight though, so it's not as quick as a Luchuan push would be. Speaking of Luchuans, Chembridge has made another navy, and feels like a bit like the Russians are a bit confused on where to go with their ships. Now swinging back to the middle, more trying to land more, trying to land his like army now over. Transport ship is going down though, so landing will not happen. On the left side, Tatoh domination is continuing on to the markets. Oh, Russia looked so good for a while in this game, but it feels like in the end the Spanish sling strategy and kind of to play all for Tatoh is working out. It's the Spanish Armada, but there's no Team GP to sink it. Also, I think the British abilities to sink anything on water don't match the historic records, they work on. Would give almost. Can go to economy tab, so you can see the remaining wood line. Big one here remaining for Chambra. Yeah, I think it's a wood game, at least for Russia. And they don't have water trade, so they don't have wood access anymore. And I think that is the death of Russia. And the Spanish Armada gets to sail another day. Counter to history. Spanish Armada got sunk by storms. Yeah, but it was storms around the British Isles. So they tend to take credit for that. More assault wood? Why not? He has wood income. No, he has gold. I clicked the wrong ship. I'm sure he has something to bring in wood. I hope he has something to bring in wood. Oh, they're all on gold. But now he bought wood. Now he's buying wood. Maybe he was just buying wood all along and just believed Mojito. Secondary Spanish fleet with Chambridge's Luchuans. Fighting still a sizable fleet of white. Overall military count in the damn hell for Russia though. And at least in theory there is eternal wood income. And now Mora has heard us and switched some more trade cogs to wood. So there will be long-term wood for Team Spain. Without water control, no way of getting wood. White tried to go for the trade cogs, but the turtle ships around the back of the island are making it very, very tough. Russia has like one last fleet left. Needs to make that clear out a possible path for trade cogs to start bringing in wood. The angriest pancake is British and not taking credit for that? I guess you're an exception then. It's a really good Team Islands game. Maybe not as legendary as Switzerland's Team Islands games. I apparently have to include multiple. As white is... white might clear this up actually. Maybe Russia can trade then? But they don't have the trade cocks to trade even if they would clear it, right? As I think they died even. More landings by Vinchester. Okay. Vinchester has constructed 2 more castles in the trade. That's at least annoying gold-wise for the team, for the Spanish team, because they will be losing their land trade. Water trade is working though. Lutron's kind of blocking it, should be moved. Rams and infantry relics are out as well, so I guess that's actually hindering the income quite a bit from the Spanish as they got cleared up in the back. Hold on a second. AntagonisT is back on the water with the Chinese as well. How do they have the wood for this? Vinchester is slinging wood. This is kind of their last wood, but it's a pushback for Russia, and they have castles on the trade, and the Spanish just lost a lot of navy. They still have a lot of Tatoh navy in the middle. Still think Spain should have this, but Russia really giving themselves like another little chance here. Vinchester playing this very nicely with the castle landings on the trade too. Everybody's buying wood now. Castle's still alive. Now false. I spoke while it was on the deletion animation. Shouldn't have done that. Idle villagers. Think wood is officially gone. 0 wood on the map. We actually still have some minerals apparently. Still some gold and stone to be gathered. Where are they? Oh, here at the front. And then some stones scattered around the Spanish island. Another! Ooh, and that's an even better forward castle! But they call it as they're out of wood. This castle was so good though! That's killing the all-important water trade. That can potentially do everything. And they're pushing here. Well, there's another fleet, right? And Tatoh has this fleet. They will never clean that. And I guess they're not getting to set up trade. But Russia kind of calls it in a moment where it's looking better for them than it did for a good portion of the last 20 minutes. And as less was in the bank, only yellow has more. Now I'm making them myself. Oh, 2 of Spain. 1,000 units killed for the galleons of Tatoh. No, for the turtle ships probably mostly. They also raised an entire 2/3 of the coastline of the Russians. Vinchester with the biggest eco meant he could still sling some at the end and plays a lot of nice forward castles. Really, really good, really close game 2. But the Spanish will manage in the end. I think if Team Russia, I don't know. I think it would have been easier for Team Spain to not play with the landing. After the landing, I think there was a nice chance if they can like maybe focus a bit more on Tatoh or set up for the late game a little bit more. Really close game 2 though. A lot closer than game 1. But also a bit of a exceptional map, so not sure if the Russians can reproduce such a close game again to maybe take a win in the next 2 games, which is what they will need to do to keep playing in the tournament. as they did use less important civs for land. Chinese, Byzantines, and I'm blanking. It wasn't Italians, right? It was Malay. Yeah, also less important for land. Spanish had to use, or did use, the Koreans from their first row. Very strong flank civ on land as well, and very strong civ on coastal mountain. 2 Koreans used. Vikings actually not used, right? We used Goths for the landing, and then Wei for the Lutruans. So we are at 1-1. Also, I don't think we had prediction this series yet, so maybe if mods are feeling like and allowing chat to gamble, we could have some for the next one. Oh, Ladeshek is casting too. Nice. Well, Team Russia will need some support. Oh, Mandy is casting as well? Ah, and he always claims he's not casting when I'm casting. I claimed this one really early. But yeah, nice to see so much exposure to DM Nations Cup. So many options to watch the series. Your mom says you're not allowed to gamble. Are you sure it's your mom? Or so you are a child of the state country? Oh, no! I just mentioned you, Mandy. It's fine. It's totally fine. You could have casted even though I'm casting. I just said it's nice there's so many different options to watch this series, and then you rate me. Because I was just looking around at who else is covering it. I hope you had fun with the first 2 games though, Mandy. A Team Islands game was a treat, wasn't it? Everybody give a follow to Mandingalingo. He's covering the tournament as well. And if you wanna watch that Switzerland game that we just talked about, the Switzerland versus Sweden game, that's also the place to go, because I think he's the only one, or at least I know that he covered Sweden with Switzerland yesterday.
Yeah, gonna lose that castle, Benergy. Smoke a lot, I hope you saw that. Built a castle under the castle and trebuchets of Eldenera there.
And Kufu, if you're still here, that happens if you have clips on your channel. So get some clips. First team to call out bingo in the draft gets a free win. I can even do it better at this layout, 5x5, but that looks odd at the bottom, so I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I think Sniper, Tour folks, I think that should be a good, that's a rule addition we should do for the, make the semis and grand finals best of 9 and add that rule. I'm in favor. Team Islands lost by Russia. Let's see where we're going. Looks like we're going to Runestones. And the game is starting. So let's get ready for that. Thank you for the raid, Mandy, and welcome to Game 3 between Russia and Spain. Vinchester as the Bohemians, bringing out all the heavy hitters here. Holy lineup for the Russians. Bohemians for Vinchester, then we've got a pocket of Bengalis and a Celts for AntagonisT. The other side, Bulgarians will face Celts. That can be a tough one, but can be one of the better civs to go against Celts. Actually, so a bit of lucky for Spain there. Cambridge also with a strong pocket in the Lithuanians. And we have on the left side Tatoh with the Vietnamese. So massive investment by Russia. Also relatively decent investment on the other side. But worse civs for Spain though. Maybe Russia's chance to get on to the board as the Bengalis look to combine with the Bohemians. While the Celts should be able to play alone for Antagonist. More early eyeing this corner for trade. We do have a contested corner, Jen. So, really like that early focus by More. And what I also should mention, so far we haven't seen a single skirmisher this set. So, Tatoh was successful in telling his team not to make them. No skirms? Noobs. Time for triple skirm. Yeah, it's a threatening game, but Tatoh took the Vietnamese himself. In order that he can tell his team to not make skirms, probably. Skirms against elephants wouldn't fare too great. Skirms against Hussite wagons, neither. And against Celts, yeah, I don't think. I think there's no big risk here. Did we jinx it? No, not yet. I don't know, I kind of want to scry skirms, though. I was so ready to scry skirm every time that Spain plays. Two-handed swordsman. Loki makes sense with the extra melee armor against Celts. Big push though on the left side for Russia. White and Antagonist have combined their armies. White lost 11 units on the rush, so strong start by Chambre. But that doesn't really hinder the Bengalis to get their first army out. And their first army can be so scary together with Bohemians. Lots of Bohemian Scorpions though. That's a unit that's close to making skirmishers. You know whose heart service love? You, because you're watching an Otter stream. I should have not said that. Bad influence you are. Big push by Russia. I wanted to make a kind of service love type of joke though. After your trailer yesterday on Xada stream. Yeah, army combined, if it was with Hussite wagons and like more high Powerschnitzer would be OP here. But we saw so many Scorpions for the Bohemians that is making him a little bit worried. Eight out of 9, that's not too bad for the first time. And we all know, for you, it will be the first time when we meet. Hoffnitz shooting at the castle. This is a strong push for Russia. I should not get that distracted, because this is actually Russia getting on the scoreboard. And on the right side, the Celts are also dominating for Antagonist. Big siege on a ball. Lots of road raiders taking apart the Bulgarians. Vinchester still looking good on the pocket. Light is obviously really strong unit. 2 relics for him so far. But the mass is good. The invincible mass of Bohemians and Bengalis. No Huns to stop them this time. So that is super hard if they get to combine their armies. And here we go. Skirmishers on the field for Spain. And it is even Tatoh himself knowing no other option against the elephant archers. King Boo, there you go. Desperation? Desperation counts regardless, my man. Haufnitze and Hussite wagons out there to deal with them, though. Celts doing Celts things on the right. Spain in shambles on runestones once more. They even lost runestones to Great Britain B. So it is the struggle bus map for the Spanish. They don't like the standard way of playing. Apparently. Runestones, the big weakness of Team Spain, as much as Team Islands, the weakness of Team Great Britain A. Also, obviously down to the super strong civs that Russia came up with here, and it super sounded so much like the WWE Super Slam. Okay, now I overdid it though. Man, why am I so awake today? Huh. Look at me casting all tired all weekend, and today I'm all screamy. Just been a good series, right? Elephants trying to hold the line here, but obviously the MVP unit here is the Imperial Skirmishers, as the market is getting a bit on my nerves. Will the skirms be enough? They look kind of fragile from behind. Not as cool as from the front when you can see their shields. Taking some trip away damage against the elephant archers with the elephant front line. It's the T90's uncle composition, right? Lead battle elephant plus imp skirm. So Tatoh is now Ankh. Confirmed. Tatoh 0 elo. I could have done it longer, Peon, but I didn't want to go on to you guys' nerves that much. Link to my business account as a live sports announcer in the description. Available all around the world if you pay for my travel cost. That's the first part of the travel cost. Thank you so much, X Factor. 50 months! Let's go! Amazing support, Factor. Thank you so much. You're the goat. More pushing back a little bit on the right side. An owl is going crazy in front of my window. Have the Conics out finally. Conics are a really nice unit against Kels, so the Kels push is stopped. The combined push is still alive, but Tatoh with the skirmishers slowed it down a bit. I feel like for the first time I have to close my window while casting because an owl is howling in front of my window. I think it's not an owl, it's a dove probably. Doves have been terrorizing me. It's probably a dove. We do have owls, yeah, why not? I'm not sure if that's really an owl though. Chambridge still trying to do something, but the Vinchester halberdiers kind of block the elephant archers nicely. Good team movement here by Winch and White. Kels kind of stopped in their tracks, so Mora kind of dominating on the right side. Kels push looked strong, but Conics the solution kind of to Kels. Kels tend to need to add something really weird called a Paladin at times to beat the Conics. I remember a CMOD game, really long game, where I ended up playing Paladin SO and eventually beat the Bulgarians on my side, but couldn't do without the Paladin choice and was full on 1v1 for forever, while Sekiro was saving Shikso and then pushing with him on the other side. Pure skirm now for Tatoh. Do we have estimates for how many skirms will be made in the series after this game? Give me some guessing numbers for the skirm amount. Or for Tito, or for the team combined. Maybe we switch to triple imp skirm soon. Map control is still looking good for Russia though, even though the push has become a little bit slower. Not enough Conics I feel like for Mora. The more Conics he has, the more good it's going for Mora. And we need more wagons, I think, right? Against the pure skirm comp, you could just go wagons. Would be easier. Why are we making halberdiers even? I guess against the lighters. Yeah, lighters could come in at any moment, so we need some halberdiers. How's the relic count looking? Five relics. Nice. Castle in danger. For Tatoh. Goes up, will go down as well though. 1 trebuchet, 2 Haufnets with these castle HP. And Vietnamese castles only. No masonry, no architecture. Is going down. And then another castle going down to the left there. Tatoh pushed into the trade pretty much. Mora still holding strong against the Kells. Chambridge is trying to make something happen in the middle, but I'm not really sure what that's leading to. Probably some trade rates would be nicer. Guess there were some, because there's some units standing around in the trade line. If you're coming here for Otter Monday, free-for-alls will happen after the series. And if you want to see even more deathmatch today, then you just need to keep watching, because eventually we will get to USAA versus Brazil. It should be an absolute banger of the set. The two of the strongest 20 players are the two captains of those teams. Brew versus True. Battle of the best friends and practice partners for DM World Cup 6. No, DM World Cup 5. Did I just announce DM World Cup 6 by mistake? That sound was way louder than I wanted it to be. Well, according to Tatoh, this is already DM World Cup, so there you go. His stream title says that. Elephant Archers in the trade. Think there will be no luck for Spain in game number 3. Too many skirmishers? We need USA to win so Canada can have the full streak of playing all the USA teams after each other, right? So Mali, you should root for the US team so you can do your hat trick against the USA. Beating USAC, then beating USAA, then beating USAB. That's the dream bracket run for Canada, so you have to root for the US teams in order to make that happen. You're doinking a little bit at the elephants in the trade, but the elephants are now everywhere in Tatoh's base. Right side, Mora doing a great job holding, but won't be enough because Captain Tatoh is dying to the obviously really hard to stop combined death ball of Bengalis and Bohemians. GG's are called! We made 262 skirmishers, amateur numbers. We still need the set to keep going a little bit more for, why don't you say, highest prediction of 1500. We need 1238 more skirmishers made by Spain. So I don't think the other team members did any. Shameful behavior by Chambridge and Mora failing to produce Imperial skirmishers. Therefore, and only therefore, of course, Russia takes game. Number 3 on Runestones, Spain. Still, I think, without a win on Runestones? Can that be? I'm not sure what Germany C won, but they also won a game against them. Was that Runestones? Let's look it up. More important than the in-game statistics. Need to go to the group stage tab though. And so all the DMers as mods are here all the time. Needs a free-for-all mod. Which are the better mods anyways to give us predictions. Let's go. And no, they won Golden Lakes. So I guess Spain did win Runestones here. No, that's Mexico. That's the wrong match. Didn't play Runestones here. That didn't make Spain win Runestones. And then they played with Mexico, where... Mexico won Runestones, yeah. Spain hasn't won a single Runestones game in the tournament yet. No, never mind. I read it the wrong way. Shit. Spain won Runestones against Mexico. They lost Canyon League. As the game's going, absolutely. Finally, Keller's warming up to the God tier Sith. Let's go. So we still set 2 Runestones, so I think I have a minute. We'll be right back after Russia wins their home map with game number 4. Good series so far. So definitely more action to come. And you all want to know, is there 12? Will we get 1238 more skirmishers or not? Stay tuned. Alrighty, is the comeback on for Russia? Greenland A better than USA A. Holy, what happened in chat, man? Oh yeah, we're making USA expansion jokes, I see. Because the stuff Greek. Coast to Mountain will be the next game. Will we see Mapuche again for Russia? They've been playing a lot of Mapuche on Coast to Mountain. And they can play them. I'm ready for some Mapuche. But who is we, Greek? I think according to Pion's logic, the USA is already become Canada. So, as their 11th province. So then Canada would take over Greenland? there's still 2 more US teams though. Maybe 2/3 of the US is still intact or something. But I think Canada pretty much at this point has New York. By that logic, they would also have the president already? Oh, I'm already getting messages. Okay, it's just people offering co-casts for the future. This happened? Oh, they were starting? I guess we didn't miss anything then. And drunk of maple syrup? Isn't that the regular state of existence there? Well, Coastal Mountain will be coming. And that's a bit of a hard one for Pool 1. Pool 3. I wouldn't be surprised to see Saracens, Britons, always a super deadly combo. And then maybe Vikings for the water. Saracens, Britons, Vikings, that feels like a great combination for Coastal Mountain. Bit weak on the middle flank maybe, if people go for the lakeside then to counter that. For the Russians, they've been playing a lot of Mapuche here. Maybe will they play Mongol Mapuche? I feel like that's what they might do again. Just to make the Megadite cheaper, I suppose. That doesn't make the siege cheaper, and the siege is kind of more important. Then maybe Italians we saw a lot on the water side. Maybe Wei just... No, wait, didn't they use Wei? Oh no, the other ones used Wei. There's Wei in both sets. We do have a rehost. Will once again be Chambridge and Mora, I think. Did we see anybody of the other Spanish playing? No, they're all playing Chambridge Mora, right? Chambridge Mora Tatoh every game. So I think that's probably the A squad though. Mora has been the most active, and the other two are clearly the most experienced. On Team Spain. They don't want to risk it today. And we're going into game 4. Portuguese sighted! As a water player makes a bit of sense though. Even though they're not that great. Where else really you want to use them? You don't need to use all civilizations though. But we are on Coast to Mountain for game number 3. It's not that action packed at the start, so I might have time to do flags this time. Welcome to Coast to Mountain on the water side where we look first. It is Chambridge with the Portuguese against Vinchester with actually the way. So aiming for those Lutruans. Caravels versus Lutruan. How does that go? I've not seen the matchup yet. The way? Yes, wait, Herz. In the middle, we've got Hindustanis. Okay, being used here. Wild one, but strong one. And at the top, AntagonisT with the Mongols will be going against Tatoh with the Saracens. And in the middle, it is Elephant plus Saracens. So, no Britons, but Khmer Scorpions will be amazing behind that as well. And Legend, thank you so much for 5 gifted. Let's go. The Nations Cup is... such a great tournament, such a great experience. So many new players here. I hope some of the new viewers get some subs. Looks definitely like it as the Hussar is raging havoc for Chambra. Portuguese light cav getting 3 kills. Thank you so much, Legend. Spain lost runestones again, so maybe not what you want to hear, Legend. As Russia can do what you can do as well. Lutruans are out for Vinchester. Actually, Captain playing the water side. Interesting choice. Top side tends to be the most important. AntagonisT sending some camels forward. Hindustanis can also, if the siege isn't there, kind of deal with the Khmer elephants. 1v1, I think the Hindustani, or like if there's no other units involved, the Hindustani camel is cost effective. And therefore the matchup can be good on Michi, for example. But can also be good here if there is no Khmer Scorpions. And there is 0 Khmer Scorpions, but what there is Enso being a fantastic mod, providing you with Gamba. So you can bet on this game for now. Lutuans looking good for Vinchester on the water. Chambridge a little bit pushed back here. As in the middle we're gearing up with the elephants. Elephants also up top. Will they unite the armies? Tatoh, I think, overproduced camels here. 47 camels with Mongols. Feels a bit wasteful. Or with oh no, never mind. He's not Mongols. I'm misthinking. He's Saracens. So yeah, that makes it a little bit better. They probably want to get into Mameluke here. Maybe not as much against the Hindustani camels. Hindustani actually a nice thought against the Saracen. But the question is, will that work well enough to upset the lack of Hindustanis on other maps? Halberdier is now joining together in the middle with the elephants to have something against the camels. And Chambridge starting to push back on water with actually caravels. It's actually caravels versus Lutuans. I mean, they shouldn't be stacking up that much, right? But it's Caravel Galleon mix, but with actually more caravels. So are we sleeping on caravels? There's just not as much navy for Vinchester as well. Maybe underinvested a bit. Lutuans obviously costing a lot. He's also trying to make traction trebuchets that cost a lot and Kshanbai raiders that cost the same resources. So yeah, not surprised to see him having 15k in the food in the bank. And making kind of the wrong units. Hype Train, Enzo, thank you so much for the 21 months as well. Don't understand why Winch is playing Wei instead of Mongols here. That's kind of what you said at the start of the series, right? Russia has a chance if they let Winchester play the strong civs. And it's once more AntagonisT. Probably AntagonisT just loving Mongols. Big armies uniting here. Hindustanis plus Mongols looks like a strong combo, but none of the powerhouse civs. Commanded by the Russian captain, who is losing the water to Chambridge's Portuguese. Trade and shambles here as well. Needs to be only one market in that side. Green making a market here is a mistake. Green pocket should be making the market up top in case you lose water. Elephants moving very creatively for Mora with that little box formation split there, actually dodging the onager shots. Hindustani camels jumping onto the Mamelukes. Looks like a solid fight for Team Russia. They are behind in military numbers overall. A lot of that is on water though for Chambridge. Level 2 hype train. Let's go. The Mamelukes kind of patrolling back and forth. They only have to be afraid of the drill SO. Battle elephants jumping the SO nicely. More playing this one very solid. No Britons here to counter the drill SO, but the elephants adding a lot of strength as well. And they are not that easy to counter for the Pool 1 lineup, which does not include either Persian war elephants or the Mamelukes as a counter to elephants generally. Kshanbai raiders in the middle, not really a unit that we are all too convinced by for deathmatch. 2 civs without health, what could go wrong versus Elis? 2 civs without helps. Do we not have Halberdier? I have Halberdier. Both teams have 2 civs with helps. Oh, never mind. Hindustanis and Mongols don't, yeah. I mean, you have camels though, right? It's only battle elephants, so the imp camel can be fine. Just gets trouble if the scorpions, scorpions would be on the field behind the elephants. I think then it's really hard. But if it's only Ele, I think imp camel is fine. Marker deleted. Forward established. Chambridge even going for Viper on the field. The Orion gun. You see the Viper? Traction trebuchets. Guess it's somewhat of a siege counter in the arsenal for Vinchester, who's also playing up top now. So we have that big congregation. We have elephants still trying to be a nuisance throughout the middle. Water control and corner control right now for Chamber. Tiger cavalry against ships. Well, they would do extra damage if... Would they do extra damage? Do they do extra damage with ships? Not really, right? No, it's like archers. Ships are cavalry. For whatever reason. Kind of cavalry. Used to be cavalry. Used to be camels. And most of the anti-ship attack bonuses haven't changed that much, even with the new water upgrade. Saracens are tired of getting their Mamelukes SO shot, so they're mixing them in with Saracen camels now. And that's a nice pushback in favor of Tatoh up top. In the middle, Khmer kind of getting the armies together, even have trebuchets with the push. Not pushing together with these Saracens though. And they don't align as well, I guess. And if you have like Scorpions behind, the composition of the Khmer by itself is pretty good. There's ballista elephants though. I mean, the map is pretty limited on wood, so I guess if you play the wood game already, you can go ballista elephant as well. They don't have the damage output of a heavy Scorpion of the Khmer though, so tends to be a stronger army with Scorps than with ballista elephants. A little bit more mobile though, can obviously help if you have to bridge all this flat terrain in the middle on coast to mountain. Bottom corner, very fortified by Chambridge, and there seems to be not even an attempt at a whole trade route by Team Russia. Caravanserai check is 0. Wide. Not buffing the trade route. Camels jumping onto the elephants, looking to stabilize at least here the middle for Team Russia. Tatoh going forward at the top. Mongols always have some SO out, but no scary drill SO ball for AntagonisT, and he lost a lot of Mangudai in this engagement to the Saracen SO, which themselves are not faster. Have more damage output though. It's not as good as the bonus as drill, but it's still something. Now 5 Imperial Camels change everything. Jump onto the siege. Little nice moment for white. Don't have to check Caravanserai here because they cannot make them. Trade route. Chambridge barely anything in trade, but he has the water. He has the water and is taking the oysters, I wanted to say, but no. We don't like it that there's 24k gold on the water. I guess not. More interested in a middle push. Saving it for later? Oh, I don't know. You haven't made fishing ships at this stage. I don't think we ever will. AntagonisT pushing back a bit, but feels very optimistic to park his Mangudai right under this castle. Not necessarily only because of the castle, but also because of the units around. There's always a catch. Well, seems like there's no catch. And I am not sure if that really wasn't intended. I understand the comment if it's intended. If the pun is intended, I don't really get it if it's not intended, actually. Oh, feels like Russia is holding on multiple fronts. But they're slowly being grinded down in the middle. Trade numbers for Russia are actually really solid for 40-40-20. Vinchester a bit struggling. Guess Portuguese don't need that much gold. Mainly a wood-intensive civilization. Also didn't like really lose any ships. Could even delete some more, I think. Don't think that there is a comeback possibility on water really for Vinchester. Oh, free gold feels like a scam. There's always a catch. Oh, there's actually 24,800 little pearls. Signaling a potential raid. But what is supposed to go there? Tatoh signals the trade position? He's trying to go through, but there's too much army of Russia. And with this little maneuver, Spain could kind of lose the army they need to push. You go back to lurking now? Well, but you made a great joke, a way better joke than the rest of chat. Even without intending to make one and X Factor, so you're clearly goated. Rafa Kramos, thank you for the follow. If you want to keep watching the DM Nations Cup action, I will cast a lot more of it, so very worthy choice to drop in a follow, as Russia doesn't feel like they can push this back anymore, and Spain gets the 3-1 on Coast to Mountain. Too much control over all the map for Russia to handle. Viva España, says Tom Aquinas. And Tatito's team takes game number 4 with him at the top, and the Portuguese getting a much needed win on their board as well. Spain play Spanish yet? Spain can't play Spanish, right? They picked the wrong pool, so Portuguese was the closest they could take to win with. Solid lead for Spain. We will have to have an almost reverse sweep for the Russian team. Zerachu? Hey yo. We did use the Saracens though. But merely accompanied by Portuguese, and well, Khmer can be good. As for the Russians, we used Mongols. Then it was the Wei. And in the middle, Hindustanis, kind of a big investment. One of the best pockets for regular maps. As we do have 3 maps left, not that regular ones. Russia still has Kazakhstan, Vinland Saga and Golden Stream. Remaining home maps for Spain. I think Keller has left, luckily, so he can blissfully ignore that the Portuguese won. Maybe just saw Portuguese and turned the stream off so he can't see them win. That said, I do tend to agree with Keller, but the Coast to Mountain is a very special role. No map selected so far, but Russia will need to cook up something to stay in DM Nations Cup 2026. It's almost like Portuguese is a good civ. Almost, important word in that sentence. I think you forgot to cancel out civs from the Runestones game. Yeah, I might have, right? So Celts, Bohemians and Bengalis. Holy, Russia doesn't have much left, man. And on the other side there was Vietnamese, Lithuanians, and was it Georgians? No, Bulgarians. Huns, Trojans and Berbers still options for Spain. For Russia, Sicilians, Bulgarians and Spanish are Probably... They've got Megas and Franks still, though, at least. So Megas maybe for Vinland Saga, Hans for Vinland Saga. Or Kawasan. Both can be Rushi. Lobby still set to Coastal Mountain, so Russia slow to decide the next map. We'll need to be careful regardless, because one more loss and they're out. Spain wins this. Will become almost a typical result. Even in the playoffs, to win that one team wins the land maps and the other team wins Coastal Mountain. Did USAC win that? Did go there as well? Potential spoilers ahead. No, they actually won Runestones, right? I didn't get to Team Islands. Kawasan! So final home map for Russia is selected. Oh my god. Yeah, well, makes sense, right? They need to win. They have Spanish. What do you play on the other positions as Russia? Next to the Spanish, though. I mean, yeah, Franks is a solid pocket still. Could play maybe Burmese flank. Sicilians is a bit slow. Magyars? You need that for Vinland Saga, no? Maybe even Italians could be used? They didn't use them yet. And for Spanish, Hans can be either played here or on Vinland Saga. Humans would be likely as well here or on Vinland Saga. Berbers could be an option too, maybe if you want to play them as a flank. But I kind of need them as a pocket, right? They don't have many pockets left here. Turks is a potential pocket, Franks is a potential pocket. You could play Hun pocket, but feels a bit wasted. Mapuche Franks. I don't know if we're really gonna see Mapuche. Russia maybe played them enough in the group stage. I don't think they won with them. But there we go. Kawasan is started. Match point for Spain. No Mapuche. Oh, Turks, of course. Yeah, Turks can play this flank as well. If you get the water, then you have the Cannon Galleons. Welcome to Game 5. Match point for Spain. They will be fielding the Turks for Mora on one flank that will face antagonists Romans. Oh boy, that's a tough one for Romans, I think. On the other side, we've got Tatoh looking to rush down with the Cumans. He will face the Spanish of Vinchester, so the power players of both teams and the power civilizations. Vinchester finally playing the best Civ for his team. White as a Magyar pocket and Chambridge as a Hun pocket, actually. Two Civs that I could have seen on flank as well are the two pockets, but it's an all-out game, so really strong rosters. Besides the Romans, perhaps. Step Lancers looking to surround Vinchester, therefore Vinchester cannot get onto the water. Did make a back dock, actually. Maybe he was confused where the water was? I'm not sure what that dock is all about. Managed to not lose a villager, though. Will get the castles up. Has a nice clump against the Step Lancers of Tatito. House is being walled behind. That's to protect the villager, so that is fine. Cavachers are there, though. Castles are in trouble. What's happening on the other side? Mora killed two villagers of AntagonisT. Mora not jumping the water, though, even though he has Turks. Not going cannon galleons, going bombard cannons. What the hell is this? Romans are getting to water. Mora not really using his civilization, but Tatoh is in the base of Vinchester. Tatoh is in. One castle is up, but one castle tends not to be enough. South White is coming to support his captain, but Vinchester's TC is under attack, has lost half of his HP. Habiteers are trying to come out to deal with these step lancers. Is that enough? Well, just jump out. Can they finish the second castle? The second castle would be hugely important. Second castle is up for Vinchester. Lost 9 Spanish villagers though to Tatoh's rush. Now White there in order to save his captain. Lakes are being ignored besides by AntagonisT, who is playing some drones. He's under pressure of the Turks though. Yellow, Chambridge now. We're adding more and more cav archers to the kind of all-in rush by Tatoh. 90 step lancers. Might be too many now that it did not work out in killing Vinchester. We are allowed to stack patrol. Step lancers not doing it very effectively though. Kind of just making them stand around villagers in the wrong place. For Vinchester, the opening being at the front, maybe would have needed to make a second opening at the back. Feel like that's all barracks. There has to be a wall there somewhere to delete. No cannon gains. Well, he has now dogs coming up. 1 dog coming up for cannon gains. Forward castle for Tatoh though. Spain wants to finish this series fast. Send first army to other pocket instead. White did, I guess. Maybe a little bit of a mistake. We do even have Mega CA now to counter the... What is that pocket play there even? Han CA. Step lancers acting as a meat shield. 5, 6 trebuchets looking to defeat the captain here. Vinchester might not live very long in this game. Actually, on the left side, it's going well for Russia, though AntagonisT somehow, with Romans, is destroying the Turks of More. Rebuilding the docks. Bombard cannons only, not doing that much. Should be good against the Scorpions. More doesn't seem to have much. White is doing damage here with the Paladins, but the Trebuchet is the bigger danger, probably in Vinchester's base. Predictions are still open, so you can still bet on this game state. It might be good odds though. As the Conquistadors are starting to be out, Vinchester wants to shoot to kill. One of Tatoh's favorite sentences, but Tatoh looks to shut it down. Another castle will fall here. Another triple forward castle for Tatoh. No chill on Tatoh today. Third castle even being deleted. Vinchester deciding, I need to run villagers. I need to run villagers. I can't stay in this area. Some cannon gains to stop the push here. AntagonisT push also stopped though by Turks. HCBBC, not HCBBC, CABBC. Countering the Scorpions, what would be good here is Rams, surprisingly, because Rams kind of counter BBC and Cav Archers when used correctly. Turks overrated, says Greek. Ooh, an anti-brew take. I hope you're there tonight as well, Greek. When Brew will play, and then we'll have to read the chat. In before the game, spam how often Turks are overrated. I don't know. Or after the game, in the winner interview. I don't know. Drew, the biggest Turks fan of them all. We do have a break. Vinchester might blame it on the server that is getting defeated. No, it's actually more the one pausing. I love a good clump, but I don't think he needed to clump as Spanish versus Cumans. Yeah, maybe not. Greek says deal. Let's go. Lido has another reference that I wonder if anybody understands it. Russians overwhelmed by human wave tactics. Other fruit need Mr. Shu. Isn't Shu written with a U? Game has started again though. Winchester's base crumbling to the triple castle forward. Vinchester trying to reboom here at the back. At the left side, AntagonisT would need to win the game for his team, but he's lacking the ram power to beat the Turks. A little bit of jitter is normal post. Break. Romans can take some nice shots at the cavalry archers. Trebuchets not that greatly positioned for AntagonisT. Under the hill, doing less damage to Morris Castle. Romans can't do anything about that. Will always be under the hill on this map. Winchester's base is gone. Where will the Spanish turn next? Or I shouldn't say the Spanish, because Winchester is the Spanish. Tatoh and Cambridge are turning to the middle, where White was trying to control the central hill. 2 castles and relics being gathered even by the Huns. Well, the other team would get less from the relics anyways, since there is atheism. Trap Mars moving forward for Tatoh to attack White now, ignoring Vinchester, who's rebooming. Mora getting into more and more trouble with the push of AntagonisT. I guess he has a fearsome antagonist. Should have set that one up better. Biggest antagonist of these builds? A blue castle. Second biggest antagonist, the Romans. Bombard cannons shooting at the Romans. Extra range helping out for the Turks. But the bombard cannon numbers starting to be low. Then the Scorpions can move forward. Still would like to see some ramps for AntagonisT in this. He needs to make it happen a bit more quicker though. Because in the middle, Tatoh and Cambridge are laying it on to the base of White. Castles falling left, castles falling right. Cannon gains for Vinchester trying to defend White. Hashtag Otter poetry. I sense that might be a Monty Python reference, Vigilito. I don't have the exact quote, but it kind of gives the feel. Wide defense narrows, yeah, it's not too wide of a gap here, I guess. And I don't know if Terz Choke is more pain to be read out or more pain if you read it in silence. Silent pain. You abbreviate the first part. Then you might get Russia. Target raids! Let's go! Thump, 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 thump. Oh, they have a crown. Look at that. Still want to try that like trick of... I will do it during a free for all though. Well, White is still trying to hold the narrow spaces here. AntagonisT now actually the one being targeted from the side. I feel like the map control is just too much for Spain now. They can choose where to hit really easily. Also, they have trade underway, whereas the Spanish trade bonus is only kind of used to make up for the fact that they don't have full map trade, and it's being raided anyways. Spain is looking to go to the top 8 teams in Deathmatch Nations Cup. So Spain will be able to call themselves a top 8 DM nation in less than 5 minutes time. Probably like 1 minute is what I would give Russia to call the GG. Spain did rush ER, I guess, yeah. Starting to cry, guys. I'm starting to cry. Not for Russia, just for the massive width of chat. But Roman shots are nice to see. Sadly, they don't do any damage from under the elevation. Is Winchester back in the game yet? Making 32 army. Try to construct a castle. So he's being active again. Has his cannon gains here to slow down some pushes around that lake. Chamber now with forward leg. Wants to go for forward hand Roman. And I wasn't talking about the amount that he will make. Doesn't really have pop 400 anyway. Combat Cannon now even able to push for more a bit. And Russia is playing on as it will be the last game in the tournament. But they will join the club of the unfortunate teams going out in the round of 16. Spain really showing up today, looking a lot better than in the group stage. And Austria, assuming that Austria either gets the admin win or win with Mexico, Austria might have to be a little bit afraid of Spain. No, wait, Austria is playing GB. Oh, they're against Sweden. Well, Sweden maybe doesn't need to be afraid. Vinchester is really Frost copy. Frost did this in one of the games, I think, against the Russians. So Vinchester's like, let me try this. Sneak scanner galleons. It looks like Tatoh had a good reaction to it and Chamber as well. So that was the final play that Vinchester wanted to try in the Nations Cup. He did try it, but reaction was good enough from the Spanish. They did not play yet. There was some spontaneous announcements of them playing this early morning my time, but then Mexico only had 2 players, is what I read in the scheduling threads. So they haven't played yet, and it's a bit doubtful that it will happen. That's my current understanding. Favorite, thanks for that. Pointing that out as well. AntagonisT still... Well, he's just eating units into castles. I'm not sure we can call this a push. Mora has also gotten the pond now. No more blue Romans on this side. White is holding well. They're hoping that Vinchester can get back into the game. Doesn't really look likely, though, as wood has run out at the back of the bases. Vinchester trading a bit oddly, but a little longer now. Chamber has put a castle onto this corner, though, so full map trade not really possible yet. Vinchester invested the rest of what he had into that forward docks and calls the GG. Spain is in the quarterfinals of Deathmatch Nations Cup 2026. Congratulations to Team Spain. And Salz White with the most KD. Valiant defense of the pocket there. And it is the playoffs. I'm not sure I will get it, but they did an interview last time, so why not ask? I want to ask about skirms, man. As Kavasan won by Spain, therefore Spanish victory 4-1. Mandy just joined the voice channel last time, but I'm not sure if I want to be that invasive. Russia tries to play Spanish Tatoh, and I took that personally. Nice one, Tom Aquinas. I have a mention. Okay, that's just Andy joking around. As you wish. Oh, I'm gonna hop in then. Right, that's the easiest.
¿Tenemos que hacer qué?
Hello, hello.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I'm quick.
Hello.
How's my favorite skirmisher producing team doing?
Did we do any skirmishers in this one?
Tatoh did.
I did.
Tatoh, yeah.
I think they're good skirmishers. I think they're underrated by the DM community.
You said that last time as well. Congratulations, guys! Congratulations on taking out Russia. How do you feel about the set? Were you expecting to dominate? Because that was a really strong performance by you guys.
Was it?
I'm not-
I don't know. I have no idea, to be honest.
Well,
I guess
I would
from
say
the
they,
outside it might be dominant, but I think from the inside we still have things to improve, and we still noticed some things that we need to polish in order to have some kind of chance versus Sweden, right? Since they're the favorites.
obviously very hard draw that you got for the next round. Yeah. What was your-
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, please.
No, I just wanted to say that for the preparation, we used your tier list for the civilizations to see what what pool we wanted. So thank you for it, for doing those tier lists on YouTube.
Well, I think your Civ rosters were pretty solid here. So, are you happy with my tier list so far?
I think we disagree with some placements, but overall, yeah, it makes sense.
Portuguese, perhaps.
Yeah, Portuguese is not trash. What the fuck? It's decent.
Well, you
What
won.
is the tier
Can't argue with
list
that.
What is the tier list based on?
The tier list is based on me and it's based on deathmatch team games over all maps in a tournament setting. So specialized civs for special roles get a little bit higher placement.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Because like Chinese on this tournament should be God tier, probably.
Yeah, but they're only good on water
And they are
maps,
like-
so they get a little bit of a bump down, but they're still pretty high because they're so good on water maps, right? That's kind of the
Yeah, but you are releasing
yeah.
them once, right? And they will play on the water maps anyway. So
We
Yeah.
try to make it not
Yeah.
only about this tournament. But
Mhm.
yeah, let's talk a bit more about your games and a bit less about my YouTube videos, I guess.
yeah.
So
Sounds
game
good.
one on Canyon Lake, I felt like you didn't have the greatest Civ matchups there, right? Magyars with Britons, and then at the top like Dravidians into Teutons. That should be hard matchups on the flanks, but it looked really, really strong for how you played them out. How did you feel about the flank matchups there?
For me, I think it was hard. I feel like Teutons, they didn't do as much bomber cannon as they should have because they have siege engineers, so +1 range over Dravidians. And I felt like he only did onagers, so I kind of sniped those, and then Elephant Archers carry. So I guess misplay by Team Russia.
Yeah, that looked really strong that like you won with Dravidians basically full 1v1 in the north there. What are your thoughts on Magyars vs Britons, Tatoh?
I think it should be okay, unless it depends on the pocket as well, right? But if the pocket comes with Paladin, it can be a bit more tricky. But what was the pocket? What was the
Both
seed?
were
They have
it
camels.
was both camel
Tatars.
pockets, Tatars, and both relatively generic
Yeah.
camel pockets. Tatars Malians, right?
Yeah.
You guys said Malians, I think.
Yeah.
More.
But they didn't have
Yeah, you-
Paladins, right? I think if they have Britons with Paladins, I can struggle a bit more. But camels are not really a threat for Magyars, in my opinion. Unless
Oh, with
you like a
elephants,
stop.
right? Elephant
Uh,
Britain tends to be super strong. I was surprised you guys didn't
Oh,
do that
or
later
elephants,
on,
yeah.
but-
Yeah, Paladin or
Yeah.
Elephant, I think is super strong, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But they didn't have that combo, right? And I think against Britons, overall is fine because I think the extra range these days is actually kind of a nerf, at least against units. It can be good against bomber cannons, siege onagers, right? Which are not the most mobile units. But I think if you want to fight, it's easier to dodge arrows when they are like lombos. So I wasn't too concerned about them, to be honest.
Oh, it's really because of no thumb ring, or also because you just have more time to react to the arrow being in the air?
Yeah, it's the arrow. Like it takes longer to hit, so you have more time to dodge, basically.
That's some pro stuff. I never thought about that. Great explanation. Yeah, so that was basically game one, right? And then it went to a very crazy Team Islands game. I want to hear a bit
Definitely.
about what your thoughts on landings are and like what the general strategy was there. Obviously, early Goth landing was, I guess, kind of the plan.
We don't
Yeah, of
want
course.
reveal too much of our
Reveal.
plan. But yeah, overall it was like planning to land with Goth. We kinda make it on the spot. But yeah, they had Byzantine, so we knew the risk. But overall, I think it was part of the plan, how it went. Like at least
Yeah, distraction
Vinchester
was
was
good
a bit
enough.
distracted. Yeah, distracted. That's good.
I was
So
hoping
you
to
think-
kill, but cataphracts, they're too
I
strong.
I feel like killing with early landings is really, really hard in Deathmatch. But yeah, I guess you used the distraction there. And then it was a long back and forth water fight, right, with more landings over all the places there. What surprised us a bit was the amount of Korean galleons that you, Tatoh, made, and a lot of people of the other players, and me as well, felt like that more turtle ships would have made it easier.
To be honest, it's the first time I played DM with Koreans, and you are not usually on the scenario where you have endless amount of resources to play turtles. So I wasn't sure how they would perform. But yeah, like after the game, mid games, I realized that turtles was the way, and I made way more of them. I think it's kind of broken. So yeah, definitely like the mistake was there, but it was mainly because I have no idea how they would perform.
They did amazing, right? They're super broken in DM as well right now. Many think.
Yeah. They are.
The only thoughts are about like actually the Chinese combo that played against you with dragon ships and Lutruans. That's the one thing that's being considered equal to them. How did so you even played them against the strongest combo possible? I would say.
Well,
I think China suffered the most with the landing, no? He lost castle,
Yeah.
quite a bit of villagers, so maybe that was the key, no? Because I think if you drag it out, then it's kind of fine.
That's true. Yeah, maybe the landing exactly was what you needed to win with the
I
Spanish.
think I killed 10 villagers or so maybe that's the thing that made Koreans hold.
But you kind of won it in the end by you guys having water trade and the Russians not having the wood trade, or would you say it's more the army engagements?
No, it's a trade.
Mm,
I was fully
the trade helped
slinging
for
Tatoh,
sure.
right, with wood, and basically Tatoh was the only one able to replace his ships. So I guess that's the win condition.
Tatoh sounded like he disagrees.
No, I mean like I think the water trade is something new as well, and I think it's something to consider for sure. Like at the end of the stage, probably like when the game finished, probably it was better to trade wood than gold. So definitely it's more important. But yeah, like Korean ships are really cheap, and we kinda rely on that.
Thank you so much,
And
Ronaldo, for the
it's
raid.
nice to have
Welcome,
them
guys.
for sure. Like turtles and cheaper. Yeah. It's a great combo.
Absolutely, but that was a really, really good and close game. And then it went to runestones, right? So Imperial skirmishers were I think we made like 300. We saw 300 Imperial skirmishers by you, Tatoh.
Only? I felt like I only had 20 at one time.
Well, they
I
died
think my
pretty
opening
fast.
was yeah, they die first fast. Yeah, I think the opening wasn't the best for me. I really didn't realize that I was up against Bengalis like Spocket, and the composition was really strong. I think I could have done better for sure, but army wise, it's hard. I think maybe half full bombard cannon will be a better choice, but it was
What do
hard
you
to
think
do it on
about
the spot.
Fire Lancer? Doesn't Fire Lancer kill Halb and
No, but didn't
I
have
don't know.
halves at the start.
they had
not that
the wagon, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
hard.
I mean, I think helps and
They
bomber
even had
cannons and
They even
hold.
had scorpions at the start. The Bohemian scorpions surprised. Did they surprise you as much as me that the Bohemians started with scorps?
Yeah, I didn't expect them, to be honest. When I saw the Seawords, I was expecting Humnisa right away, but the Scorps turned out to be really nice to hold the the Cabarter rates, right? So it worked out for him really well.
They obviously used super powerful Civ combo there, right? Probably the best, strongest combo you can build with that pool. Bengalis, Bohemians, super good, and Kelts on their own is a powerhouse. How did you feel on the other side playing against Kelts?
I was fine somehow. I think he didn't do enough help at the beginning, so I was sniping a lot of siege with the Connects. And I felt like I was gonna start winning at some point, but then we lost. So I don't know. I guess it's a kind of a counter Civ in some way, right? I guess Celts still win, but it's a good Civ to hold. Bulgarians versus Celts.
Yeah, I would agree. It's definitely one of the best choices to have if you're against Celts. Celts is their favorite, but Conics are. I mean, you already said it, right? In my mind as well. You could have maybe done even more Conics to stop the Celts. Then Celts need
I
to make
started late because
if they play
didn't
alone,
realize
and
I
that's
had
really
them.
awkward.
Yep.
But
I didn't
great
realize
job,
I had
like
them,
definitely
so.
your standout performance in the set for me to hold Celts there with Bulgarians still, and the two-handed swordsman at the start worked nicely as well. That was impressive.
Thank you.
And the next game then was Coast to Mountain. I guess the first question is Caravel's OP?
Sorry, what is OP?
Caravel's OP?
Cambridge hit Caravel. I didn't realize.
He did.
I mean, he won water convincingly, no? So Portuguese not that bad. Maybe not trust tier. Maybe he has C tier or D tier.
Keller left the chat suspiciously during that game, so.
Yeah. And then I think Elephants kind of counter both Mongol and Hindustani in some way, right? So it was a comfortable game, I'd say, even though it was dragged out for a bit. I think we always felt like we were on top.
When Themri won the water, basically was kind of looking really good for us, right?
Yeah.
So I think it started from there. We were in a comfortable position to carry on.
What we saw a lot was the combination of Saracens with Britons to snipe the siege onagers so they can't kill the Mamelukes. Did you consider that, or were you always like sure that you also want elephants on the map?
I think we had a pool with no Britons, so I guess we didn't consider it. Or we didn't have Britons.
Do you have Britons?
We don't have Britons? Oh, we had Britons.
We still have them remaining, I think.
Maybe we are saving stuff for the Sweden, you know?
We had Britons, okay. I will consider it from now on, thank you.
I think Sweden knows about it, so.
Yeah.
I think everybody needs tips against Sweden, so I'm not sad if I give you some.
Yeah. When is the limit to play versus Sweden? Because if we manage to drag it out till the LAN party that there is in Sweden, maybe we can get them drunk or something. That would be an option.
I think you're supposed to be playing until next Tuesday.
Well, I have to drag them online or something.
Need the tricks. But yeah, we also had the Kavasan game left then. There was a nice chat comment that Russians tried to pick your civilization and asking about if Tatoh took that personally.
No, but the Spaniards are scary on the pond, so we have to watch out for that. Like Vinchester was sneaky.
Yeah, I want to ask about that too, but first, obviously, to start with the Cumans is a talking point, as you completely brutally destroyed Winchester's Spanish base. Do you think the clumping was a mistake?
The clumping were
like putting the castles close, no? Is clumping?
Yeah, the like surrounding the TC
like
completely is when you clump, yeah.
Well, I think if he doesn't do that, well, to be fair, he was Spanish. I think the only way to survive that is doing that. Otherwise, I think.
But what if you do CA in that case?
No, but
if you add an archery and some CAs, then he cannot even do that, no?
Yeah, but like Themri had CA, right? So we were fine.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you kind of played against the clump with it, and the forward castle chain was like brutal. 3 castles on his TC basically.
Yeah, that's the issue against clumping. When you are too close, right? You can always do that.
Yep. And then, I mean, the game was kind of looking very good for you guys from that point on. On the other side, it was a bit more even. Like, I don't know if they didn't make enough bombard cannons,
I didn't
maybe,
respect.
or like.
I didn't respect the lake. I should have just dropped a couple of dogs when I killed his first dog, because I think I kind of killed the first attempt of a landing, of a docking. So then, yeah, in that position, for example, there is only one ship. I'm watching your stream. Then I should have docked there, right?
Good.
And do some fire ships to prevent the Drummond abuse. So, I mean, it was a stalemate, but you learn from it. I don't think it should happen again.
Yeah, especially with like Spanish, with like Turk cannon gains, right? You could have ranged so much with Turk cannon gains from that lake, kind of unopposed.
Yeah, this is what an Arabia player does in a water map. They just play land. Yeah, next time we'll do better.
What did you guys think when you saw Vinchester's sneak dogs?
That was. I don't know where that villager came from, to be honest, because I saw a couple of villagers, but I thought I killed most of them, or all of them. And that was a sneaky villerino. Yeah, was good.
I'm trying to find out because I missed it as well.
Because I saw like he sent villagers to the right corner, but I saw that and I killed at least 6, 7. But I'm not sure if there was one remaining that made to the pond.
Only one
Just
villager,
walk
wow.
through your base.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah,
it was
you-
okay. I guess it was.
Yeah, I was fine. The game was over anyways, but it was certainly a nice move and nice that he got to make it.
Yeah.
I mean, if the game was more even, I think if you disrupt the trade even for a bit, it can mean the win. So it was a very good move. I was scared.
Nah, we react instant almost. Well, didn't kill a single thing. It was fine.
Did certainly react well.
Themri
Mojido is
was on
asking.
point.
Mojido is asking, how is Tatoh enjoying the return to playing Deathmatch?
Who's asking that?
The cast coordinator of the tournament, the Mojido Monday.
Well, it's nice. Like it has been a while since I play a lot of DM, but like it's hard to get on shape for it. So many builds now new, and it's hard to remember everything, to be honest. But we are having fun. We sign up for fun, and it's been a really nice tournament so far.
Absolutely. And now you will go against, I mean, very glad to hear that. Unfortunately, your next opponent is called Sweden with Frost9 and Ganji. You already hinted at it a bit and some out drinking tactics to stop them. But how do you feel about the matchup, and how many percentage would you give yourselves?
I have an idea. I haven't seen them play, so I know they are really strong. But
Yeah. I've
to
seen
be
the play,
honest-
so we are fucked.
Okay, more is not too optimistic about our chances, I guess. But let's see. Like,
Yeah, Frost is
least
super
we will try
dominant. Ganji is not scary. I've played against Ganji in Rage Forest, and we can deal with him. But Frost, it feels like he plays perfectly in DM.
Watch out for Camrat, guys.
We will.
But yeah, good luck. And thanks for coming in for the interview. Congratulations. And
thank you.
should give the Swedes some sweat, guys.
Hopefully.
They need to be careful. Cambridge is a beast.
Yes. See you then, guys.
See ya.
That was